Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Finance Bible podcast.
Before you get into it, please note that nothing in this podcast should ever be taken as personal financial advice.
And if you are seeking financial advice,
please reach out to us as we can direct you to many individuals in the industry.
Welcome back to another episode of the Finance Bible podcast.
Finally, we've made the revival to the potty. The microphone's in front, green light's on. It's finally an exciting time.
The defib's out. We're back up and running. We've got a pulse.
Yeah, we've got a pulse after a couple months away. Mate, it's been a pretty chaotic couple 2 to 3 months. I think that's since our last podcast.
Chaotic is a good
well, especially
word.
For you, chaotic, because you've been jumping around the country. Literally going to Gold Coast, up north, even further.
Melbourne,
mate. I reach out to you and see where you are. Like a couple months ago, every single week, and just don't get a response for a good week and a half.
Oh, come on. I'm not that bad. I've been busy.
But good news is we're actually living together now. We've, for anyone out there who's asking for our life story, we have moved into the same place here in Sydney. So finally, so it's good. It's exciting times ahead, and
the podcast behaviour will be back up and running. We will be consistent.
Yeah, well, we're aiming to, because before we went on a bit of we'll just call it a breather. Before we went on a breather, we, I believe we're dropping them every Wednesday and Sunday.
That's what we're going to be doing now.
So we're getting back on the train, hard on the bandwagon. Twice a week, get the content up, get those quotes going again on the Insta. Mate, unbelievable.
Speaking of chaos, he already knows the most chaotic thing to happen in the last few
you're building this up,
months that have gone by. Just a little bit of silence. I'm joined with a freshly single man.
I was waiting for you to bring to drop that.
So I've been off doing a bit of work and stuff. M.I.A. left, right, and centre. Oscar's actually been going through a breakup. He's moved houses. You've been back and forward from Melbourne too, and you went up north as well. You went to Port Douglas.
Yeah, but I was very, contactable, unlike yourself.
I was only I went up near Bundaberg for probably 3 or 4 days. Was off in Whoop Whoop, just clearing the head, doing some building. Had to build a house.
Looking up at the stars.
Looking at the stars.
You actually were though.
Gazing.
I got a message from Zeke at about 3 a.m. on one of the days he actually reached out. And he sent a photo of him drunk looking up the stars and captioned it, "Wow, such deep thoughts right now for me."
It's true.
It's all
good.
Which is great. It's just, I love it.
What else has been going on in the world? We've had the war, Russia and Ukraine. God bless. We've had abortions. We're having climate change protests. Train drivers reckon they don't get paid enough. Oh, the world's going nuts.
But I feel like you think this podcast is a news channel.
It can be.
Yeah, I know. Looks like we're drifting to the news.
The point of that is, let's take a look at the markets.
The markets...
they're feeling the wrath of the crazy.
Yeah, markets, you look at the NASDAQ, for example. Myself, I'm invested in the NASDAQ, so I've obviously been watching it. And that took a big drop, unfortunately. Same with a lot of other stocks in the ASX. Cryptocurrency as well. There was a big terror, attack. So a lot of people lost literally all their money, which is very upsetting. But
very upsetting.
It just shows you, in times like this, the need for diversifying, the need for being educated, and also the need for taking a little bit of a risk, because whenever it's dipping, it's basically M.I.A's on a sale or Louis Vuitton's having a sale. Get in while you can. And these are the times to buy, but by saying that, you don't want to put all your money in one thing, because I myself, I did that maybe a few years back in a cryptocurrency, put not all my money.
Lucky you haven't done that now.
But a bit of money into it, and it just plummeted. But yeah, take your time. And interest rates, that's also been a big thing in the last few months.
Well, before we get
the election,
we get too far into the interest rates, let's take a further look into what we were just talking about. So the share market, we're talking a drop of over 10% worldwide over the last half a year. So people with super that are looking to retire, let's say they're 59 years old, wanting to retire next year. They've got 700K in the kitty. Guess what? They've now only got 630. That's the kind of impact that has.
Unless you're lucky enough and smart enough to take out your investments and put in the cash on the side.
Yeah, or diversified on property and other things. Property being the exception currently. You've got Bitcoin 50% or 60% in between that mark in the last half a year.
Crypto, there's a lot of those smaller coins which a lot of people are invested in, which have probably plummeted actually a lot more.
That's correct.
Than Bitcoin percentage-wise. You got NFTs. They're actually holding up all right at the moment. Depends what NFTs you're in, Ethereum or Solana, if anyone knows what we're talking about. But yeah, they're holding up all right, but obviously the whole crypto market as a whole has taken a turn.
Before we get onto the interest rates, let's talk about the property side of things.
Let's go.
Property is the exception currently. Shares down between 10 to 20% in half a year. You've got crypto as an average. Let's say it's very variable. We'll say between 25 and 55% as a drop. Property, on the other hand, over the last 3 years running, it's still up. Suburbs and states will vary pretty rapidly, but we're talking over 10% over the last couple of years that it's gone up in value.
Yeah, and there's little pockets in cities, about to go off as well. Like, for example, Toowoomba up in Queensland, a lot of developments coming through there for the Olympics in 10 years' time. So, regional areas like that, like I said, just one example. There are so many out there. Big game changers and getting in times like now, you reap the benefits for in the future.
There's a good bunch of statistics actually that are coming out through the census now that are actually indicating the correct population growth. So that'll be interesting to see how that comes out over the next year. The forecasts for almost every state were very incorrect. Queensland was off by about 3,000 a year, which is actually extremely accurate. Western Australia actually is about 70,000 off. Positive.
Yeah, wow.
There's 70,000 more people.
It's like Queensland 5 years ago.
Yeah. And Queensland's already, it's tipped to be growing the quickest. It is growing the quickest.
But it could be safe to say Perth could be coming closely behind that.
Yeah, it is. It's coming along. But if you look at, on that note, you had 70,000 people in 2021 positive go to Queensland. Victoria was the only negative one. It had like negative 4,000 or something in total.
Mate, it's because of Dan.
And external. Oh, blame it on Dan. Here he is.
That is literally the reason.
Get on the beers. Calm down.
No, don't listen to anything. Don't listen to anything he says.
I don't even know the guy, honestly.
With property, for people out there who have been in these times saving deposit or investing to get some money out or whatever it may be and want to buy an investment property or a home, do you think, because of the interest rates and everything going on right now, it's still a good time to buy? Or would you recommend holding off a little bit?
The saying is, you always should have bought yesterday.
It's never a good time to buy.
Correct.
That's always a good saying.
In today, buying yesterday would have been exceptional for everyone. We all wish that we bought a year ago in Queensland.
Or Bitcoin
or in Hobart.
20 years ago.
That's correct. In saying that, is it a bad time to buy? I don't believe so. I think if you do the research on the areas, for example, places that are undersupplied, back to that Toowoomba example, the population statistics infer they need about 5,000 new dwellings per year. The council's approved 800 in the last year. So,
yeah, I heard that the other day.
So that's
that was a very nice statistic coming across the desk.
Oh, that's what we do, mate. We do stats here.
We loved it.
So that's a very indicative sign. But again, there's a lot of land out there. There's a lot of different things to take into account. But if you work with those statistics and kind of look into where you're buying or reach out to a professional like ourselves, then you'll know what you're doing. In terms of interest rate land, are the rates going to go up?
Actually brings us on to the next part of it anyway, interest rates.
It does.
It does.
Well,
continue what you're saying. I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right, mate. Will they keep going up? God only knows.
God only knows.
MKTO, great song. That's all I've got to say. God only knows.
Interest rates. Like when clients ask us, or if anyone asks, what are interest rates going to do in the next 12, 18, 24 months? You'd be lying if you said they're going to increase or they're going to decrease. No one actually knows, like Zeke said. So, yeah, we can't sit here and say that they're going to decrease, so buy now, you'll be fine. It's not like that, but it's always a good time to buy. So, if you buy now, 10 years' time, 20 years' time, 30 years' time, if you're buying in the right areas, the right property, the right market, it's safe to say that the price of that, the value of that property will increase. Long term, for, in 30 years' time, at least.
The other thing is, there's a lot of pressure on interest rates to go up, and a lot of people are tipping that to happen. But the other thing to take into account is they've already gone up in the last couple of months alone, or more than 5 basis points. So that on the average loan in Australia today, which is over $800,000, by the way, is actually upwards of $40 a week that is going to cost the average Australian. So, if you've got $40 a week extra cost coming out, I mean, and then they bump it up again, what impact is that going to have on people? Some people are struggling right now. People will continue to struggle. People always struggle. It's part of life. They generally move on.
And look, when applicants are going for a loan with a mortgage broker, when they actually see, can you service this loan? Do you have enough money, etc.? They're going to factor in a rate increase anyway. So when mortgage brokers will assess your loan, they're at around 2 to 3% from what they believe the interest rate will be, just so it shows worst case scenario if there was a rate increase. And it can just show that you are okay, you will be able to pay it, to kind of give you that sense of relief. And because a lot of people out there, interest rates is literally they have nightmares over it. Like literally when I was working at Liberty Financial, everyone called up and was complaining about their interest rates.
I actually had that at Westpac.
Yeah,
too.
it's literally probably 80% of all the calls are, can I get a rate reduction or a rate review? Good news is every 12 months, you can just call up your lender and they should be able to just review it, which they don't tell anyone for those reasons. But a lot of people stress over it. So
I had a client actually the other day, sorry to cut you off. I had a client the other day that came in and we were looking at their rate because they used to have a couple of credit issues, I'll say. And they were sitting up around the 6 and 7%.
Yeah,
mark.
right.
And I hit them with, mate, what's going on there? Pulled a free credit check on their file, which doesn't affect anything as a mortgage broking firm. And just had a quick geeze, credit rating not too bad. Said, just call up your bank. Don't do a refi. Just call them up. Have a geeze. Down to about 3.2%.
From 6.
Over the phone.
From 6.
Well, it was about 6.6, yeah.
Yeah.
Halved.
Yeah, literally. So if anyone's in that same situation or a similar situation with those rates, just call up your lender or your bank, because...
Just get them on the blower.
Yeah, just tell them, I've been making my repayments, I'm on time, I'm a good customer, give me a reduction. Or I'm off your dog.
Your dog.
Your dog.
Same with virtually everything, like insurance, electricity, gas, all of that kind of stuff. Just get them on the blower once a year. Give them a little shake up over the phone.
If you don't ask, you don't get.
That's exactly right.
It's basically like going to the gym. Because you and I have been very into fitness. Well, for the next 2.5 months, you and I we're dieting. We're not drinking alcohol. We're going to the gym. We're hitting it hard. And we put a quote on our mirror this morning.
Ooh.
Our bathroom mirror, just a bit of motivation in the morning.
What is it?
It's a very simple one. It just says no action equals no results. So it's basically, if you don't call, you won't get. So you pick up the phone and dial.
So what are Oscar and I doing currently in the market? So personally speaking, I got out of all of my investments, apart from my property, obviously, and a few other miscellaneous schemes on the side. But I got... That sounds dodgy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's okay. I sold most of my shares and crypto and stuff like that. I don't know how long ago it was.
Yeah, but you're
I got out of it
on the sidelines.
Right before everything went wrong. And thank God I did, because things are going well. And now just slowly dollar cost averaging into things that I think are attractive. But yeah, just keep dollar cost averaging into what you think is attractive. And, it's like you're chasing a girl, mate. You just keep going if they're attractive.
If she's the one, you gotta get there.
Oscar knows all about it.
You gotta get them.
All right. What are you doing in the current world, mate? What are you doing in the market today?
So as you know, I'm currently looking to purchase a property. So I myself, I'm not fully in the market. I kind of sold all my ASX shares. I've kept a NASDAQ and a few ETFs. And just kind of holding them. I'm not really dollar cost averaging at the moment, just because I'm saving cash. Don't want to lose it. But a fair portion of my money is in NFTs, funny enough. So as Zeke knows, I'm pretty into the crypto and NFTs, etc.
He loves an NFT.
Yeah, I just very fascinating how, just people's love for art and then a project and everything can just come together, and a community can just build.
So beautiful.
Man, it's insane. Like, you go on Discord and everyone's just hyped up. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm in a few NFTs right now. which I believe will, well, I'm hoping they'll increase. So holding on to them, we'll sell them shortly just for some liquid. But yeah, I'm just sitting on the sidelines mainly when it comes to, actual Australian stocks, US stocks. But that's the only reason because, I want to put that for a deposit.
Yep, just waiting for a good
But yeah, if I wasn't looking for a property right now, I'd be dollar cost averaging into all the big companies, majority of Macquarie Group, CBA, Nasdaq, KLL. We know them; they're good.
Oh, I do know KLL.
All the big ones. I'd be looking at dollar cost averaging in them, just because they've been around for a while. They've got big upside. It's a safe bet, and the prices right now are, it's very nice. But everyone's different. Everyone's on their own journey.
That's true. And before we go, we just wanted to give you a quick reminder. Nothing we're saying here is financial advice.
Yeah, don't go and buy 30 NFTs because I said I like NFTs.
Yeah. And don't go throwing all your money into KLL either. True. If you're seeking financial advice, reach out, as we say. Today's really just an update on getting back into it, the world, the war, the abortion.
Apologies, we're went a bit M.I.A, but that's what it's all about.
Life happens. I feel like there was more that happened too that we haven't disclosed.
Oh, mate, there's 2 months to talk. I got a cat.
Yeah. You did. You got a cat. You got rid of a cat.
Got a cat. Got rid of a cat.
We both went to Melbourne.
Yeah, we both went to Melbourne. My footy team, Collingwood's absolutely kicking it.
All right, that's where we end it. Everyone, have a great whatever it is wherever you are. We'll catch you all next time.
Enjoy it. Thanks for listening.